We back in the building. We already got Trey the photographer whining and complaining. His daily whining and complaining. We back in the building. Another episode of D-Friend Daily, episode 159. We live. I got a couple things I want to get into tonight, man. I got a couple of things. Congrats to YG and Brittany Renner. Goals. Was that an album? Was she really pregnant? Was that an album cover? I seen her in the car recently with Kevin Gates. They was getting a little, close, getting a little freaky in the car. So I don't. Maybe it's an album cover. Maybe I don't know. I didn't really look into it. I just seen it. I seen people discussing it. But like I said, I got a couple things I want to get into today. I want to talk about what I predict. I mean, it's not like it was hard to predict, but what I predicted yesterday when it came to Young Thug getting new charges, and that is apparently somebody is snitching. Somebody is flipped on him. So anyways, and there's a bunch of more shit. Andrew Tate downfall. OnlyFans chick got caught up with the murder charge like we all know that she should have. So since I talked about it yesterday, I'm going to get into it first here. I can waste none of your time. So it looks like there's actual paperwork that's being passed around in it of someone snitching on Young Thug. So breaking news, leaked documents have confirmed that YSL Woody, a.k.a. Kenneth Copeland, has allegedly snitched on Young Thug for orchestrating murder of Donovan Thomas. The document shows YSL Woody alleging Thug rented a silver van, a silver Infiniti, in 2015 that was used in the hit. Now that is in his in his indictment, so that's not something that is new. If you read the actual indictment, that is something that is in there, and it's stated that he was wanted in some kind of connection for renting out the thing. So like I said, it's like Young Thug's probably gonna go away for a little bit. I don't think he can really weasel his way out of it. I don't think he can get his way out of it. But this is just to show that the gang shit, it do not matter. They will come and get you. And people will do what people do, and they will self-preserve. That's plain and simple. You're going to self-preserve. You can either be like, fuck it, I did a crime. Well, actually, the details of this one, let me see if it's in this. This Grand Wizard shit, it's a little bit yeah, it's like a meme. But okay, that's a meme thing, so never mind. I don't get back to that shit. We'll get to it in a second. But essentially, it was like, this is the plot of what this guy did. He got caught by the police for something unrelated to the YSL takedown. Apparently, he had a cop girlfriend. They got pulled over in her cop car. They had drugs and guns. So now he's essentially doing, if you've seen the clip of Charleston White saying, if I ever get locked up, I know I'm going to get away because I know about old crimes that nobody knows about. I can go solve those unsolved crimes, and I can get less time. That's essentially what they're saying YSL Woody's doing. He's wanted for some whole other shit, but to get in their good graces, let me help you out with this case right here. And there's also other stories saying like they really want to get Young Thug because they really believe that Young Thug is the reason, the catalyst for all of the violence that's going on in Atlanta right now. Like I said, I don't know how true that is. People in Atlanta know, but I don't live in Atlanta, so I don't know. But if this guy does end up testifying, if he does end up taking the stand, it is not looking too good for Young Thug, especially orchestrating the murder of somebody. Now, I don't know how that works. I don't know if you get the murder charge for that or you get the conspiracy to commit murder charge. I don't know that exactly. I don't know how the Georgia, law code works, but I would assume with that charge tax on a pretty long sentence, and we might not be hearing any new free Young Thug songs coming soon. So, what you're talking about? It would be funny if that's the dude that Thug told to keep his head up during the live court video. GG's Young Thug. Young Thug entered the gulag. Funny thing is, Thug probably did all these crazy crimes and will walk away with like 5 to 7 years. He's just a scapegoat. They still have gang violence. We see that. That's like when you see 21 Savage say, "Hey, Atlanta, we gotta chill." That's with 28 YSL members in prison. The other YFN members in prison. So it ain't really these two people. It's just the violence is just pretty much catapulted in most major cities throughout America right after COVID hit. Like we can just see that statistically that's how it goes. Violence has struck up, COVID hit, and violence is through the roof. But when you want to make a splash as a DA or a person who looked to be cleaning up crime, a person who looks to be, cleaning up the streets of Atlanta, then the best thing you do is get a big name rapper and take him down for the count. So like I said, snitching's going on. Who knows what else is going to happen, especially for something like you saying 5 to 7 years. I could possibly potentially see that because if you look at a guy like Shadi, like what were they called? What were they called? The Treyway guys. They was literally like on the stand saying like, "Hey, Shotty shot this guy. Shotty shot at that guy. He did this over here as well, but he ended up pleading, and he only ended up getting like 15 years. And that was some Fed shit. This is some state shit. So there's a lot of shit that could fall through the cracks in a state trial. So you might be right. 5 to 7 years for Young Thug. He gets out and he'll be bigger than ever once he gets out of prison. And depending on how long the trial takes, because you got to look at a guy like Taxstone. Taxstone's been in jail since like what 2018. That's been like 4, almost 5 years. So if Young Thug's trial don't start till, let's say, like 2 years from now, he might only get like 3 years and then some time served. So, who really knows? Look at GS9 that was shooting and killing, and motherfuckers got 5 years. I mean, yeah. So Bobby and Rowdy got like 7 years, but there was some people on that GS9 case that did end up getting like 99 years, 80 years. So there was some people with some big time that came from those cases and came from those things. So when it comes to this shit, you never know what else the prosecutor got up their sleeves to try to take you down. So, yeah, I mean, I know why he did 7, but I don't think he had. When we look at his charges, it probably has nothing to do with bodies or orchestrating murders. It's probably just like the RICO charge, like he's a part of this thing. It's conspiracies to commit whatever. So, I just want to touch on that because I remember bringing up that I think that somebody started snitching. And that that's the only reason they brought these new charges on Young Thug, Deuce, and Yak Gotti. That's the only reason I can see why they would do something like that. So, I don't know if I want to get to this OnlyFans girl. I got the video clip of her being very, I will get into that. I'll get into that right now. So, if y'all don't remember, whether you watch it live, you watching the replay, the white OnlyFans chick who was arrested, didn't release because she stabbed a black man and killed him. And for some reason, everybody was up in a big roar. Why is this white lady getting released? What did she do? Why is she doing this? She was on podcasts and all type of shit like that. And now she's been arrested in Hawaii at a rehab center. My thing when I saw that headline, like OnlyFans model arrested for the murder of her black boyfriend, captured in Hawaii at a rehab center. That makes me feel like, because even when she was in the whole midst of being arrested, they were trying to throw out that mental illness, mental health type thing. I feel like they're really trying to double down on that shit and try to, well, look, she was going to get help because she did break down. And when she stabbed whatever the guy's name is, she really had a mental breakdown. She really went insane. She really went crazy. But then when you see things like this, you clearly see that this woman has a pattern of that type of behavior. So this is a footage that was released recently. She get on there. She trying to close the elevator. She start bashing the goddamn thing. Already exhibiting violence. Start hitting the man. Pulling the man's hair. He ain't got but the 2 little braids back there. She yanking on them hoes. He put her in a guillotine. Because you got, like, I said, there's 2 types of people in the world. When you see that, pulling the hair, smacking them, doing this, he just trying to put her in a little bit of a guillotine. He could have really, like, Ray Riced her. And when you watch this, I never say it's really justified to hit a woman, but, like, this is a lot. She doing a lot right here. He's showing a lot of restraint. Like, hey, back up, chill. I think he laughing or something. Look like he laughing at her. Now it's like, all right, bitch, I gotta push you, because now you're doing too much. Like the muffs, I'm not mad at the muffs. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm not mad at the muffs. And it could be because I know that she murders him later on, but still, I'm not mad at the muffs in the midst of this thing, because she keeps on coming. And what is he supposed to do to get her up off it? What would be the best scenario for him to get her up off of him? And she probably does have that mentality. She probably does have that thought process that I am a white woman. I could beat up on this man and ain't nobody going to do shit about it. I will end up being the victim. Just historically looking at how some of these things happen, she probably thought that, she'd get away with it. But what a lot of white people have to realize, and not saying that they still can fall through the cracks, because they still do fall through the cracks. We see certain police brutality things that fall through the cracks. But you got to know now in today's society that people are a little bit more, aware. A little people are more, ready to prosecute some white people for doing some shit to some black people, just for the fact that, it didn't happen a long time ago. I feel like she should get whatever punishment, or it should be added on to her punishment, whatever punishment that white woman ain't get for lying on Emmett Till. You know how they found her old ass at the nursing home, and she was just sitting there. Oh, I lied about him 60 years ago. He really didn't touch me. Whatever because they said they can't charge her. They said she good. Whatever she lied on the little boy. She got the little boy killed. She sparked the civil rights movement with that. Well, the mama sparked the civil rights movement by showing the world what happened to her baby. They can't do nothing to her. This white girl got to pay for that. That's how I look at it. And it don't be you know they're going to pacify her. You know that I think she got arrested for second-degree murder. They're probably going to really try to coddle her. She might only get like 10 years. She might only get like 10 years for killing him. My long-lost Caucasian cousin. I mean, I'll give it to it was my cousin. Hey, she wilding out. She tripping. Send her ass to prison. That's all it is. I think I'm an equal opportunity, across the board, whether white and black. I kind of, give everybody their fair share. Just like yesterday when I said, he looked like he was black, but I saw another picture of him. He might not even be black. His name was Francois Little John, who shot his 3 kids. He got cheated on. His girl gave him STD. He a bitch-ass nigga. Send him to prison. Send him to prison. I mean, well, never mind, send him to prison. He killed himself. So, I think this is one of those stories that's interesting to see how it plays out because you never know what type of defense will come up in one of these cases, especially with the historical, black woman, white man. Oh, maybe did he abuse her? Does she abuse him? Did they abuse each other? And was this her moment of? It got to be black and white. It can just be the dynamic of men and women. It's always like, when a woman kills a man, the first thing that comes to mind in a lot of people's minds, you see it through media, you see it through TV, is what did he do to her? What did he do to make her and push her to the edge? I think that's what could come up in this trial. I could see, because I watch a lot of law shows, I could see how her defense team will come out and be like, you know what? Paint him as the villain. Paint him as the big scary black guy that used to abuse the dainty little white girl. And I know we've seen videos of her beating the shit out of him, but that was just because he was just beating the shit out of her. And he knew there was a camera there, so he didn't want to let go. And as soon as they got out the thing, he beat the shit out of her. And this day is the same day she stabbed him. I'm just making I'm playing it how I can see lawyers trying to play it out and make it look good. So if you want me to read it real quick, let me just see. So neighbors. It seems like Courtney Taylor had a history of violence towards her now-deceased boyfriend, Christian Obumaseli. Yesterday, Courtney was arrested and charged with second-degree murder in connection to the gruesome killing of Christian back in April. TMZ has obtained security footage of Courtney getting physical with him inside the elevator back in February, 2 months before the murder. I think also we got to kind of look at people like we got to stop putting up with certain shit. Just for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe she was good at sucking dick. Maybe she could throw it back good. Maybe she was doing whatever. But when people are literally beating the shit out of you a multitude of times, I think as a society we need to be able to walk away from those people because there's no way in hell that something like that, someone with a history of that, it ends good. You can look at any situation we've ever seen. It never ends good. We just saw. I don't know if y'all see this, but I just saw a video or a story of a man who stabbed a woman and killed her. She had 6 kids, and he was literally on a abusive, whatever the fuck that's just called. What do you call it when you tell somebody get the fuck away from me legally? Restraining order. He said fuck it, stabbed her. She dead. 6 kids. We see it happen all the time. So, Black Mirror, respect yourself. I wonder what people get out of killing people for Portland Reed. I'm gonna just be honest. Maybe I'm gonna say I think she thought she could probably get away with it. I ain't gonna lie to you because I don't know the reason. I don't know if she's a snapped. I don't really care for her personal life. I was touched when I was a little kid. Yeah, I really don't care for stories like that for people who when they do bad shit because there's a lot of people that go through that same shit that don't end up exhibiting that same behavior. Like we see people who are pedophiles, and we'll get to a crazy video about those type of people that say, oh, well, I was touched as a kid. I feel sorry for your kid self. I feel sorry for you when you were 5. Damn, that was fucked up. But you as an adult, wiping all that trauma all over other people now, I don't feel sorry for you. I think you just go to prison, rotten hell. I don't care about shit like that. If her was oh, her daddy abused her, she was in the OnlyFans streets, she was I don't give a fuck. Go to prison. You stabbed a man. You killed him. Go to prison. Now, like I said, If she got some kind of footage she could pull out her ass, that just shows he was beating the dog shit out of her. And just like a movie, somebody broke a fucking vase and she grabbed a vase and hit him in the neck and then he died. That's obviously a different story. But from what they're saying, the way they're making it look, it don't look like that is the case here. It just don't look like it. So I do kind of want to roll into this. I'm ready. I kind of want to, because what we're speaking about with the like this trajectory that you can see people going down, the abuse, then like the entire blow up that you can't take back. That's how I feel about. And this is gonna be real. This is gonna be real short because it's like a little anecdote. This is how I feel about Blueface and his girl. And I know I've talked about them a couple of times here and there throughout the week just because I see constantly crazy ass shit from them. But then Shade Room just did an interview with her, right? So we saw like last week. I don't know if I covered this. I don't think I did a video last week. But essentially there was, whatever you just see these people doing right here, that's essentially what her and Blueface doing in the middle of the street. She was attacking him. He hit her. She fell down. They stood together. Very like a toxic type relationship. I just don't understand what makes people want to be in those type of relationships, especially like we think about when you know that high value type shit, like a guy like Blueface who could most likely get any type of chick he kind of wants. Why would you want to intertwine yourself with a woman like that? But I feel like I've already answered my own question with that. At this point in their careers, she is posting on all these big ass blogs all the time. So it kind of makes him, in the news, in the media, just being connected with her. But I just want to show us a video real quick. And I do feel like something like this, you could consider this also like a mental disorder. It'd be far fetched for me not to think that this woman has exhibited some type of, parental, non-parental guidance out of her life. And she probably went through a bunch of struggles when she was a kid. Because the only thing that makes you think that someone would act this way is if they have some type of father issues, as if they have some type of love issues, as if they're trying to find somebody who can be their all and fill a void that they've had since they was a child. Because there's no reason you can see a woman or a man doing this, we're about to watch right here. Let's just take a listen to it.
Like, hey, I fell in love with you more. What the fuck? Like, hey, I fell in love with you more.
Okay, so walk me through the tattoos. You've got 5 out of 7.
Let's talk about this ugly one that I want to get removed. It's,
okay.
So I want to just pause for reference in case you missed it. She has 7 tattoos, right? 5 of them are in reference to Blueface.
All the girls in the house got it when we did our season of Blue Girls Club. Okay, so then the first one when I got in love was the one on my face.
On your face. And what does that one say, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the one on my neck was next.
And that says Jonathan too?
Porter.
Okay, so Jonathan Porter this time. Okay.
Get it right. And then
so she got a face tattoo, a nigga named Jonathan. Then she got a neck tattoo with his name again, Jonathan Porter. Let's continue.
And I got one like on my.
Okay.
It say, let's see.
Okay, let's see.
Let's see.
Okay. Jonathan's. Okay.
So then she got one right over her stomach, say Jonathan's coochie.
Okay, poo poo.
This is like,
his face.
Yes.
So how much that? That's 4?
That's 4. That's 4.
I thought I had 5, y'all.
Okay, so let's talk about the face on the neck.
Okay, so I gotta get this one done. Oh, right here.
Jonathan. So all of them say
so that's
Jonathan.
5. Yeah. That's a powerful name right there.
Bro, like nobody. Let me tell you something. This is the thing. And I ain't even get into this red pill shit, all that shit. But like, let's keep it a buck. If a man was that obsessed about a woman, no woman or man would be like, girl, you crazy. Oh my God, you so crazy. They'd be like, put this nigga in a mental institution. Something is wrong with him. He's gonna kill that girl eventually. I see it no differently. There's no reason to get Jonathan, my face, this is my coochie, this you got nothing. Bro, that is insane, beyond insanity. But in today's society, and probably throughout history, we tend to coddle women and let them do whatever they want to do and laugh about it and kiki. We see like this host do all this kiki, I get you doing your job, I get it. But they be probably constantly beating the shit out of each other. She broke into this nigga house. She stole this nigga car, drove cross country. Like, bro, it's like, come on. There is no way that story ends well whatsoever. Everybody's gonna laugh. Everybody's gonna enjoy the bullshit. Everybody's gonna look at the fuckery. And then when something happened, I don't know what side, whatever side, he do something to her, she do something to him. Everyone's like, man, why didn't nobody, we seen it happening, but it's funny. Hey, I don't want to be a killjoy because I really don't give a fuck. I'm just pointing out the fucking insanity of it all. But I digress. They like it, I love it. Hey, you like that shit, I love it. Whatever. So let me see. Y'all talking about some gay shit. This normal for girls. I know a lot of shorties who do this. I don't know any girl that has multiple tattoos of one nigga name on their body. So I don't know who you be with, but I don't know. What's the difference between them and T.I. and Tiny? I've never seen T.I. and I've never seen T.I. and Tiny fighting all over the thing. I've seen them talk about getting a divorce. But I've never seen them beating the shit at each other. I've never seen Tiny break into his nigga house. I've never seen Tiny steal his nigga car. I've never seen none of that. You can get a girl name tattooed on you one time. I'm not saying that's crazy. Like, you got a guy you love, you got his name tattooed on you. I don't think that's crazy. But if you get like she got, like, come on, what are we talking about? She got this thing named, it ain't even like she got different things. It ain't like she got the date that they met, and then she got like, oh, maybe his like like, what the fuck is that shit called? His sign somewhere. She got his name. She got his name 4 times. Like, come on, bro, what the fuck we talking about? What are we talking about? Niggas be saying like, what's wrong? Nigga, who the fuck does it? But crazy ass chicks like that, and it don't end well. I don't assume it's gonna end well. She just announced yesterday that he finally made her his girlfriend. But I digress. The only reason I wanted to really get on that because I was talking about that in relation to the OnlyFans chick, where you can see some shit going down, you can see some shit's toxic. You stay in it because I know you think it's cool. You feel like, oh my God, she does this because she really loves me, she really values me, and that shit never ends good. And we'll see what happens between Blueface and his lady. What's her name? Krishan Rock. We'll see how that ends up going. Damn, I always forget to record this shit. Let me start recording right now. Anyways, flying low when you get my name tattooed. Yeah, some gay shit again. So, speaking of the red pill community, speaking of the biggest name in the red pill community at the moment, we got Andrew Tate. So Andrew Tate, as we all know, I don't know if I've ever done like an actual video on Andrew Tate. He's kind of like everybody else in the community. They say some shit that's kind of like, oh, that's a little bit wild. They say some shit that's also, you can be like, oh, that does make sense. Oh, that is true. But it's all up in the air. But now, as he's skyrocketing into the fame, I did say, as soon as Kevin Samuels passed away, there will be somebody somewhere that kind of like shoots into the newfound fame of the red pill. Because, at that point, the crown is up for the taking. Who's going to be the next guy? And Andrew Tate ends up being the next guy. So this guy named Matt XIV, who is a LGBTQ activist, he created these posts. He edited them. He made them all nice for social media. And I just want to run through a couple of them. I just want to get y'all's opinion on these in the attack on Andrew Tate. So Andrew Tate is teaching young boys to be violent misogynists. It's time for social media platforms to do something. So this is a call to action. This is a call to cancellation. Take them out. No platforms to platform. Essentially, let's just call it. Let's Alex Jones this guy. That's essentially what he wants the platforms to do. So we go on. We say Andrew Tate is an influencer and former kickboxer who's violently misogynistic, and homophobic videos have propelled him to global fame among young men and boys. He said that women are men's property and that rape victims should bear some responsibility for their attacks. Last month, he was Googled more than Donald Trump and Kim Kardashian combined. Now, the woman's property thing, I think that's I can get what he's saying when he says that. And I see how in today's society, how that can be out of context. You never heard of Andrew Tate? Like, these, like, bro, you can't get away from this nigga. Look at this right here. They got 11 billion views on TikTok. How have you not seen this nigga? But anyways, I can see how, like, in context of conversation, how you could make that claim and how people outside look that that's crazy. The rape victim thing is like, Everybody says that to a certain degree. I don't say that. I'd be like, you know, fuck that. I don't really give a fuck what the woman did. I'm always going to put the abuser and the rapist as the most vile one. I know people like, well, she know if she had her titties out at the club, that if she did that, then I don't really subscribe. I get how you could do that. If you want to get really super, super technical with the fucking thing and really try to break it down to the micro levels, how you could do that, but I just tend not to really go that way. But, you know, I digress. Then Matt goes on.
The reason 18.
Hold on, let me pause this. Then he starts showing video clips to kind of, you know, bring his narrative all together. He says, in his widely circulated video, Tate, who is 35, explains that he prefers to date 18-year-olds because they have been through less dick than women in their 20s. He also says that it's easier to make an imprint on young girls. This is also known as grooming. No, see, I don't know if this is controversial because I kind of understand what he's saying. I just don't see how you can't understand what he's saying. Now, if I was 35, I don't really see myself as wanting to date 18-year-olds if I wasn't married, but to each his own. I feel like we're living in a society today where we are trying to make it guy dating 18, 19-year-olds like it's an illegal thing. It's a legal thing. This is how the world has worked for how many years. So, is nothing wrong with a guy saying, I would like to be with a woman who has less dicks on her resume. Like, I don't want a girl who's been ran through. And obviously, if you give it an 18, 19, 20-year-old, most likely those are the girls that may have less dicks. No, they might have wild out in high school. Who knows? We know cases of girls that are wild out in high school. But statistics will tell you that 18-year-old and 19-year-old probably have less dicks on them than girls in their 20s, mid-20s, and their 30s. Let's keep it a buck. So let's just watch the thing real quick.
And 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds because they've been through less dick. I'll say this right here on the fucking internet. I don't give a shit. People will sit there and go, oh, you can't say that. Yes, I can. A 19-year-old is more attractive than a 26-year-old woman, and I'll tell you why. Because that 26-year-old has talked to more guys, been to the club more times, been more places, been fucked and dumped more times, more arguments, more heartbreak, more bullshit, more mess for me to clean up. Whereas a 19-year-old might have had one guy from high school, just broke up, she's fresh, and I can fucking put my imprint on her and make her a good person, and without her having to go through all that detriment to learn about life.
So even when he says, like, I want to put my imprint on them, like I said, a lot of these clips to me are taken out of context. I feel like there's really clips you can find of Andrew Tate to probably try to get him the fuck up out of here. But I feel like a lot of these clips are misinterpreted. And obviously with this guy's audience, this video got 1.4, or this little thread got 1.4 million likes. So he already knew when he posted this that he was going to have a lot of his people on his side. And you would have to assume that because the way Andrew Tate speaks, the things he says, they're easily able to be put in the clips and easily to persuade people not to, you know, to fuck with him and like him. And even the make an imprint thing, I think we got to stop with the trying to make people's phrases into certain things, because I get how you can say that's not grooming. I think when he says make it, I'm thinking when he says make an imprint, I'm thinking he's just saying, like, you know, I could kind of mold them in the way I would like them to be, maybe if I want them to be my wife. Not like I'm going to control their every aspect or every life. And then, like I said, I'm speaking to that thought process and my thoughts. I don't know what the fuck his thoughts are, but when I hear that, that's what I think. So let's continue.
Who knows?
Much of his content is laughably ridiculous, like this video where he says he knows CPR but wouldn't perform it on a man because that would be gay. This is clearly like a joke, but let's just watch.
CPR. Well, me. Help him. No. Why? Because I ain't gay.
Clearly like tongue-in-cheek. I'm not putting my mouth on another guy's mouth. That's gay. But in this new world of social media, you got to throw a little homophobia, a little he hate women. They can't do the racist thing because his daddy is black, so they can't throw that little nugget. But let's be rest assured, if he was full white, they would throw in the racist nugget just for, you know, put the little cherry on top. Let's continue. But underneath the absurdity of Andrew Tate are the darker, more insidious consequences of the influence he has on young boys. Andrew Tate is not just another edgy misogynist on the internet. He's also one in real life. He's been under investigation for sex trafficking and rape in Romania, where he lives. Well, it's even that, like, I've seen that video. He says that they were called to his home because a guy saw his girl partying in their house. And he called the embassy and said, hey, my girl is at these people's house partying. He said there's sex trafficking. So essentially, how him and his brother made it seem, like I said, they could be lying. Of course, I wouldn't be there and they're saying, yeah, I'm a sex trafficker. But what they said is the boyfriend was jealous. They was at the crib. They was partying. So he called the police. He called the embassy. They came in on some sex trafficking type of shit. So in one video, he explained that 40% of his reason for moving to Romania was because Romanian police were less likely to pursue sexual assault allegations than police in the U.S. The thing about this is that I'm curious about.
Do you think that,
like, he has those videos, right? He has those videos of the gay thing. He has a video of the 68-year-olds. Like, the most damning thing to me for me to even be like, oh, I can't fuck with this guy, is if he's clearly saying it's cool to rape chicks, and that's why he moved to the country. Like, if those videos are out there, why would you not put those videos in the presentation? Because to me, you just said that whole thing, these are the dark things. Like, that's the most damning thing. Put those videos in there so people can see that. But all the other shit you put in there is kind of like irrelevant shit. So he's expressed numerous times his belief that women are property. Videos like this are racking up billions and billions of views on TikTok.
That women are property.
So I think my sister is her husband's property. I'm not saying anything new. I'm not saying anything which is really, truly even controversial. The whole world agreed that the woman belongs to the man when she decides to give herself to a man.
Do you think...
So there's that. I mean, Bryce, if you listen to Bryce, if you listen to Bryce, he kind of has that same sentiment. He said, like, essentially, like, your woman is your employee. So we've had that discussion on our podcast. Like, I didn't necessarily wholeheartedly agree with that because, I mean, you know, my employee, it sounds crazy, it sounds weird, but when you kind of try to break it down a little bit, you can kind of get to where you get that at. Like, when you say the woman is your property, it sounds harsh. Like, oh, my God, she's your property. What are you saying? She's your slave? I feel like there's a little bit more context that can go into a statement like that. So anyway.
Slap.
He then explains to his audience, compromise largely of boys as young as 13, how to handle a girl.
Slap. Grab, choke, shut up, bitch, sex. Slap, slap.
Now, if that is how it is in its full context, obviously I can't co-sign something like that. But like I said, I'm not the type of person who just cancels everybody, cancels everything, kick everybody on Instagram, kick them off TikTok for the things that they say, because I feel like just let everybody say what they say. Whenever there was a time when Twitter was like, when Spaces first blew up on Twitter, it was a big thing of like actually like Nazi people, like people who hate black people. They was making a space. They was in there talking to black people, arguing with black people, calling the N-word, doing these things. I was listening because I'm like, okay, I want to see how these people actually think. I want to see how these people actually feel. So to me, canceling people on the internet isn't my, forte. It isn't in my best interest to be on here saying, get him off, get them off. They should be banned. I feel like you just got to let people do what they do. That's just me. So videos of Andrew Tate have been viewed 1.11 billion times on TikTok alone. Many of them violate community guidelines but aren't being taken down. Why? Because views generate profit for TikTok, so they will continue pushing these videos onto the feeds of young men, regardless of the real world consequences the online massage you can have. So this is a statement someone said. They said, I saw a TikTok from this girl who said, Andrew Tate is making my boyfriend hate me, and it broke my heart into pieces. If Andrew Tate can make your boyfriend hate you, or just clearly swing his worldview in a way that it actually affects his real life, he was probably on the verge of thinking that way anyways. Any man who, and I'm not saying even influence in a certain way, but any man who takes what any man says at face value and like implements your life instantly, I just kind of got to look at you a little bit crazy. Now, I'm saying, not saying anybody can be influenced by anybody, but we just hear a guy say something like, oh my God, yeah, bitch, just like, you got to look at that man a certain way. So we know what happens when violent internet misogyny goes unchecked. We saw it with Hunter Moore, who popularized revenge porn in 2012. We see it with incel forums, which have been churning out mass shooters at a long rate. So essentially, he's doing the thing where you tie this guy and things that have happened onto these other type of things. So like, oh, Andrew Tate could eventually create the next mass shooter. And they do that all the time when they want to get someone they don't like out the paint. That's all it is, really. We'll need a documentary in 10 years about the rise and fall of Andrew Tate. We need to know, we should have known, we need to do better now. Hold social media platforms accountable for giving the loudest microphones to the most dangerous people. So I wonder what this guy would think about, like all the grooming type of shit that we see on social media, with kids. And I would like to see what he thinks about, this isn't really an attack on him, but I would like to know his thoughts on the ban of the Don't Say Gay bill, or quote unquote Don't Say Gay bill in Florida, and this he think that kids as young as second to third grade should be learning about these things. I would really like to know what this guy's thoughts are on that, because he's a lot of thoughts about other things. So I wonder what else type of things he thinks should be banned off social media for young and impressionable kids. Probably not. He probably would be cool with that being shared. Like I said, I have no problem with gay people at all. I work with two. They're two funny guys. They're two great guys. We talk all the time. But when it comes to like shit like this, and clearly you're trying to push an agenda, especially an agenda that certain people just don't agree with or don't want pushed on their kids, I get a little bit, weary about certain type of shit like that. That's just me. I get weary about shit, especially when you're advocating to get this guy kicked off, but I never see nothing on your thing about, I would like to ask him, like, how do you feel about parents bringing their kids to drag shows? Do you think that's good for young children? Because you're so concerned for children, right? I would just ask him that. Because why would you ask him that? I mean, obviously I'd ask him because he's a gay man. I would just like to know what he thinks about that. Now, if he said, I don't think they should be taken, because I don't never think that all people of a certain society or subset or a group think the same way. I'm sure there's gay dudes that see people bringing their kids to drag shows and they know what drag shows are like. And they're like, we probably shouldn't be doing that. I always feel like it's just the loud minority that we hear from in most groups around the world. So I doubt that platforms are going to probably deplatform him. I feel like he hasn't gotten to the level of I think he's gotten big enough. I mean, he is like a massive social media presence, but I feel like he doesn't consistently have his own shit going on 24/7 to where they will be able to kind of pinpoint and shut him down. Like, he'll appear on other people's shit. He'll appear on Fresh and Fit. He'll appear on Ada Ross, get the millions of views. There's hundreds of TikTok channels that post his content. So it's kind of hard, like, how do we really knock this guy down when he doesn't really have his own singular? Like, Alex Jones is easy. He got InfoWars. Knock that shit off. He got on YouTube. He got SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes. Knock it all off. One time he's done. But this guy's kind of like all over the place. So it's hard to pin a guy like that down. So with that being said, and speaking about that, I would like to get you guys' opinion on this, whether you are on the live stream now or whether you are watching the replay. I just want to get your opinion on this because I spoke about this before. There was a professor who was trying to change the narrative, change the stigma around people that are attracted to children. And it was like the video I made, it was like MAPS. They call them MAPS, minor attracted person. So now there's a new professor or psychiatrist or something that is also trying to push this agenda. And the thing about this is, right, and Bryce told me one time about 4 years ago, he said eventually they're going to make pedophilia into a normal thing. They can't control it. There's this, there's that. And it feels like to me, and I always told them, no, that'll never happen. They'll never do that. Never. But now it seems like they're eventually slowly pushing it because I thought we live in a society where it's like they're so scared to like to offend anybody that they may let this shit slide one day. So let's check that video out.
Folks, my name is Miranda. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a licensed professional counselor and sex therapist in Erie, Pennsylvania. And today I want to talk about minor attracted persons. And I want to talk about minor attracted persons because they are probably the most vilified population of folks in our culture. And most folks are making incorrect assumptions about them without actually knowing much about them. And those assumptions create harm for an already marginalized population.
See, I just don't understand the soft language around it. Like, I already know what her point's gonna be. Her point is gonna be, they're just attracted to kids. They haven't actually acted on their attraction to kids, but they're getting these things. Like, I will stigmatize them. I will vilify them. I know 50 years ago, 100 years ago, fucking with kids was a thing. It was normalized. It was this. I'm sorry. I didn't grow up in that time. My mind isn't put on that. I'm fine with keeping my thought process on the sexualization of adults and children. I'm fine with keeping that in what is happening in my 20th century life. I'm cool with keeping that consistent. I'm cool with keeping that the same. I know people's argument, that's usually Trail's argument, but back in the day, that's fine. I wasn't born back then. That's their shit. I'm living it now. But let's continue.
You may have noticed that I'm using the term minor attracted persons, sometimes abbreviated to MAPS, instead of the more commonly used term pedophile. And I'm doing this because the term pedophile has moved from being a diagnostic label to being a judgmental, hurtful insult that we hurl at people in order to harm them or slander them. I also prefer person-first language that recognizes that any label we might apply to a person is only part of who they are and doesn't represent everything that they are. We are all people first with many different facets or parts of ourselves.
See, this is the shit that happens when you try to like make up all these different fucking things, like when you try to take out shit that's like looks like, you know, I can understand it, and you make it into these millions of other demographics, millions of other. So it's like there's 80,000 genders. There's this. We got to look at these people, this person, that, there, whatever. I'm like, this is where you get this type of culture where people even think to bring this up as a conversation in 2022 because they know that there will be people like, you know what? They are a marginalized group. They are persecuted against for no reason. They are. We gotta feel. No, and what they're doing is with this is they're just taking like whatever gay people done did their thing for all these years, right? And gay people was like, this isn't a choice to be gay. I didn't choose this life. I just have these feelings. It's natural. It's not a choice. I didn't just say, hey, I want some dick, or hey, I like guys. It was just, I'm gay. I've been gay since I was a little kid. And that's the same route they're trying to go with this minor attracted person route.
And this includes folks who are attracted to minors. So to start with, let's talk about what a minor attracted person is or who they are. This term simply means that the person has an enduring sexual or romantic attraction to minors. They've not chosen this attraction, just as the rest of us have not chosen whatever our attraction.
Yeah, see, we're tied back into, well, everybody else doesn't do it. They can't help it. You know, hey, we need to help these people out. I mean, if you're a person who's attracted to kids, I don't know what you're going to do. Like, I watched a Grey's Anatomy episode. There was a guy who's attracted to, like, his little cousin or something. He cut off his dick. He was like, I can't control my urges. He just cut his dick off.
You don't get to choose to be heterosexual or to be gay or whatever you are. And you don't get to choose to be a minor attracted person. Some minor attracted persons are attracted to a specific age range of minors, while some are not. And some minor attracted persons are exclusively attracted to minors and are not attracted.
All right, so that's what it shows. That's what it shows that there's really people out here that are on a mission to, you know, potentially possibly make to where people who are attracted to minors, like it's a vilified class. They're now a minority group. They're now a, you know, underrepresented and marginalized community. And I just don't see how anybody in 2022 could get down with that, could promote that, could be like a person that wants to side with that. So I would just, like, you already know what type, you know who this lady is, right? You can see by looking at her. Votes Joe Biden. Every liberal gender probably hates Trump. Like, that's her super. This is like the super left. When I look at like racist Nazis, I look at her and the shit she represents. I look at that as the same thing. There's on opposite sides of the field, and there are people that should not be listened to. They should not be talked to. I'm sorry. That's how I look at it. Look. I know you think it's right. You're probably one of the goddamn people. You probably feel like she's fighting for you. I know you think it's right. You come on here every day and say how, oh, R. Kelly needs to be free. Who cares? He had sex with the kids. Or, oh, there's people that, oh, back in the 50s they was having sex with kids. You like that shit. You have kids and you let their kids go gallivant with niggas who's, what they call minor, I call them pedophiles. You gonna let your kids deal with the pedophiles? Me here, I am not down with trying to normalize this shit, trying to make niggas like they are victims. I'm cool. I'm good. I'm not on that train. Ain't no nigga convince me to get on that train. I'm good. I'll take the sidewalk, big dog. Now, if you want to, you know, I know you like to be, well, technically she is correct. I'm not saying, obviously there's niggas that are attracted to kids, but I'm never going to try to make them into a discriminated class or try to, you know, they'll try to put them with like black people. They'll be like, oh, there's black and gay and map. They'll try to throw you and lump you with everybody who's in them type of community. Nah, we ain't doing that. I'm sorry. I can't get down with that shit. If you cool with it, you know, hey, you keep your logic, you love your life. Well, outside of the box, she is technically correct about that. Obviously there's motherfuckers that like kids, but you know, hey,
this brutal attack.
That's your thing, you know. That's your thing. Well, no, we know there's a lot of pedos out there. So I don't want to talk about this. So a lot of music is dropping today. I think Rod Wave's album just dropped. I'm not doing a fucking live listening thing to it right now. Obviously, YouTube tried to ban my shit last time, but also I don't feel like that shit just they don't feel natural to me. So Rod Wave dropped tonight. Meg Thee Stallion dropped tonight. And The Game dropped tonight as well. I think besides Meg Thee Stallion dropped really long albums. Rod Wave, 24 songs. The Game dropped 30. I get it for streaming. I get the streaming errors here. We got to put out as much music as possible. But I think what they think they're doing, I feel like it's taking away from the quality of the music. I feel like people don't want to listen to 30-song albums from pretty much anybody, even their most favorite artists, because you know, within those 30 songs, probably like 75% of them bitches are not gonna be good. You just know they're not gonna be good. Like they might be alright, but when we talk about like, hey, I'm about to make a classic album, I don't know the last classic album that had 30 songs on it. 30 records. But that wasn't even really the point. I just wanted to address they drop music. And then I want to talk about like even the games and the shit that people do to get record sales. So the game has obviously been trying to use Eminem as a marketing ploy. But look what you said. All Eyes on Me. That was what, 1995? That was damn near 30 years ago. But he's trying to use Eminem as a marketing ploy. Obviously, Eminem is, I won't even say he's the biggest rapper in the world, but he is obviously has the most rabid fan base. When you mention his name, you get a lot of news. Like, look at this. I've been on Hot New Hip Hop a long time. She got 118 comments, 49 dislikes, 6 likes. So the game continues Eminem beat by commenting on his daughter's bikini photos. So the game has been preparing for the release of his new album, Dramatic, which will be dropping tomorrow. But that doesn't mean that he has had time to continue to beef with Eminem. Back in April, Game claimed he was a far better MC than the Detroit rapper, and he hasn't stopped trolling Eminem since. Now, when it comes to rap, I wouldn't even say that that's like something blasphemous for the Game to say when it comes to him and Eminem. I think Game is a really good rapper, but he do be doing a lot of corny marketing strategy. So the Game has now brought Haley Jade, Eminem's daughter, into the spat with the rapper on Wednesday. Boxer Peter Quillen shared a picture of Haley on Facebook, including a picture of her in a bikini. Eminem's daughter Haley then and now wrote Quillen, P.S. she is 26. So this is a couple pictures of Eminem's daughter. They show her obviously she was a baby, and then now they're showing her now. So the Game slid in the comments of the post, "Can she rap?" ? Now, that just looks like trivial. That don't look like nothing crazy. But for some reason, a bunch of Eminem fans were upset about this. They said, Game's trash talking. Maybe not, but she's more relevant than you in your career. So I don't know. I don't understand why I understand why that would trigger such a response. Like, can she rap? Like, I'm probably just asking, can she fucking rap? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So the Game has boned people with Eminem for a minute now. In March, he claimed Eminem was overrated. Eminem is Eminem. I like Eminem. He's one of the fucking good MCs, great MCs. I used to think Eminem was better than me, but he's not. He's not. Challenge it. He did disparage Eminem months later, saying, "When have you ever heard Eminem in a club? When have you ever heard him in a locker room?" And I'm not taking away from that. I don't hear Eminem in the streets. I just don't. Time will tell if Eminem responds to Games later. It sounds like this is my feeling about music. It's just like everything feels so scripted. Everything is so like a label move, like to get more sales. Nothing feels natural. Nothing feels organic. It doesn't feel like niggas really want to make good music. That's why I think for at least 2022 is Tory Lanez. Let's keep it up. Tory Lanez stole my point when I said that music was trash this year. It's mid. He took it, ran with it, made it a conversation. But bro, it just adds to it. Like everything is fucking fake. Everything like the Game don't really give a fuck about Eminem. The Game don't really want to keep talking about Eminem. He just sees it as a marketing ploy. He tried it one time. It blew up, caused conversation. Oh, shit, let me keep doing this. Do y'all really think this is going to help Game sell more records talking about Eminem? No, because one, nobody really gives no disrespect to Game. I do think Game is one of the greatest of all time. But in 2022, nobody really cares about listen to a Game project with 30 songs on it. He could have just did promo and said, hey, me and Hit Boy, who has revitalized, reinvigorated Nas's career, right? Got Nas a Grammy, helped Nas make 2 amazing albums. Me and him are locked in. Y'all thought him and Nas shit was crazy. Me and Hit Boy shit about to be even crazier. Drop 12 songs, 12 great songs, and then let the fucking people decide. But now it's like, you know what? I'm going to diss Eminem. And I hope and pray Eminem don't ever mention this guy. Because clearly, it's a ploy for marketing. It's the same way I felt about Lil Durk and Youngboy. Whenever Lil Durk was about to drop his album, you remember he was dissing Youngboy. He was doing this. They're doing the little money, writing signs out. We'll kill you. We waiting on you to kill us. All that shit back and forth. And then once he dropped the album, you ain't hear about that shit no more. You hear fans stirring shit up every once in a while, but as far as on social media, you ain't see shit. It's a gimmick. Give me the money. Give me this. I want to get more sales. How can I do it? Beef. With the Game, he picking the wrong nigga to beef with. The game beef with somebody who ain't gonna speak back to him, ain't gonna say nothing to him, ain't gonna give him no air. It's the same thing you see with Irv Gotti talking about Ashanti. Why the fuck he talking about Ashanti? That was 30 years ago. And I get he's doing an interview, but that was 30 years ago. You see what happened? He talked about it. It got buzz. He did an interview. He called her a cockroach because she didn't want to be down with the niggas because the feds came. Why the fuck would she want to be down with y'all when the feds come? She ain't trying to go to prison. Run away. That's the thing. Like, even I'm about to get into a rant. We talk about like we always say, oh, the young guys do all this corny shit. The old niggas are worse. The old niggas are worse. Even that what Rhonda said. What's the song of the summer? Glorilla? Fuck nigga free. F&F, is that the song of the summer? I don't know. But when my rant about old niggas though, I was randomly, I don't even really keep up with these guys' music because let's be honest, their music isn't that entertaining. It might be good, they can rap, but Griselda. Do y'all niggas really like Griselda? Like really like them? Like really like them? Like not just like, damn, they give me the feel of the old 90s. They can really rap. Do y'all really like them niggas? Because I saw Conway and what's the other guy's name? Not Benny the Butcher. Conway and what the fuck is the other nigga's name? West Side Gun. Shitting on Flex. They're like, man, we got these old niggas at the radio station. They ain't playing up. Who the fuck wants to listen to Griselda? If I'm riding to work go to work in the morning, listen to the radio. If anybody's doing that really, why the fuck do I want to hear Griselda playing on the radio? Yeah, when the Bronx and the peck to the... What the fuck do I want to hear that? And then he was calling Flex an old nigga. I was like, I'm off on a tangent here, but I just been thinking about this shit. Flex is an old nigga. We didn't get some young... I look, how old are these niggas? Conway's 40. West Side Gun is 40. Benny the Butcher is 37. I thought Benny the Butcher was like 25, 26. Y'all niggas is old as Funk Flex. Like, what are you y'all need to not try to be on the radio no more. Y'all successful. Y'all got money y'all's own underground. Y'all love it. Tech Nine type. I'm not saying y'all rap like Tech Nine, but y'all got like a strong fan base. Y'all niggas ain't gonna be on the radio. Nobody wants to hear them niggas on the radio. Keep it a buck. Maybe Benny the Butcher. Maybe Benny the Butcher. He got a couple songs I like. He's really the only one out of Griselda I'm like, I'm good with that. But I'm saying like these, it'd be like old niggas. I mean, DK said Lil Boosie's a prime example, but I think with Boosie, I think it's different because with Boosie, this difference in Boosie and these other guys. Boosie shit is authentic, right? The game and this Eminem shit, that's not authentic. We can tell that's like it'd be better if they could like make it look like it was real, but you can clearly see it's a fake shit. When Boosie talk, when he go off the rails about Lil Nas X or go off on Kamala when it comes to Brittany Griner, whether you think he wrong or right, that's really how he feels. It ain't just for a moment. It ain't just for whatever. No, he's actually saying how he feels. That's what I feel like is the difference from him and a lot of the other old niggas that just be on social media saying this and saying that. Just trying to, get their little moment. Like, oh, I said this and oh shit. Like it's like a drug for them. Because you gotta think, when you an old guy and you ain't, it's kind of what Gilly said, but I don't agree with when he says Rick Ross. When he said like old niggas don't get that roar of the crowd no more, it's like that's how it is for them. They go in an interview, probably not expecting too much, or they say something, probably not expecting too much of a big, woo, whoa. And then they get that, and then they're like, oh shit, I'm about to go crazy with this. And then they run into the ground and they kill it. So Ronda said, isn't radio on life support? They can keep their own lane, especially since the new music is garbage or others are fighting cases. I'm talking about Griselda. I mean, like, why do you even, like if you're Griselda, right? If you're Griselda, I'm gonna fight with playlists. I'm gonna fight with, like, why do I never see Griselda? Why, like, what? You're talking about Funk Flex, right? What the fuck is Funk Flex gonna do for y'all? Why aren't you saying, hey, Rap Caviar Why don't y'all? I have never seen any Griselda nigga on a Rap Caviar playlist that I can remember. Maybe Benny the Butcher with the song he had with Freddie Gibbs, or maybe the record he had with Rick Ross. But besides that, I've never seen niggas on Rap Caviar. I've never seen them niggas on Apple's playlist. Nowhere. So if y'all ain't on playlists, what the fuck make y'all think the radio, who is especially, the radio's still playing shit from 2018. 2019. I'm still hearing No Guidance every time I turn on the radio. What make you think they're going to play that shit? I don't want to say they dumb, but they 40. I don't know what the fuck they think. They 40. I don't know. Well, look at that. Probably because J. Cole. I can bet you it wasn't because Benny the Butcher was on there. Probably because J. Cole was on it. And that was a good record. I'm not saying, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying they don't, well, I don't really like West Side Gun and Congress. That ain't my shit. But Benny the Butcher, I could give, a lot of his shit sounds good. But let's be honest, Benny the Butcher shit with J. Cole is probably only on there because J. Cole was on there. Let's just keep it a buck. So, that was my, I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. And I feel like because they legends, people just be like, oh, let them do what they want to do. Or, oh, it's just this. Or, oh, it's just that. So, I did want to, because people was talking about this the other day. Because you got anything else now? And this is to recap the Breakfast Club. I see people, I think me and Trey was talking about this earlier, the Breakfast Club and what they could do, what their new stuff's going to look like, who's going to replace them. I don't know if y'all can see this shit. Can I save this? Let me see. Save as. Not gonna let me save it. So anyways, this I ain't gonna lie. This blog right here, like niggas like academics, they like all these people, but this blog, Gossip of the City or whatever the fuck like that is, whoever runs this shit, they be having the stories like months ago. Like months ago. Like she posted screenshots from her Twitter. She posted this shit, I'm assuming it's a girl. She posted this in February of this spreadsheet that came out from iHeart. So it said, iHeartMedia, effective, let me see if I can read it. Effective, first, subject to change, base party agreement or whatever. First round offer. So this is the offers they have for the fall show. Y'all can't even see the show. I wish y'all could see it. But let me see. Maybe I'll make it bigger on the screen. Make that bigger. Make that bigger. All right. So I'm sure y'all can see it now. So these were the people that were in the running to replace Angela Yee. Right? These are the people that was in the running. So I don't know who the fuck Trent Simmons is. Side Talk, they offered him $65,000 for 6-month trial. NWO Sparrow, they offered him $65,000 for a 6-month trial. Remy Ma, they offered Remy Ma to replace Angela Yee $175,000 for a year with a non-compete, which means she can't do shit else. Mother Knows, $75,000. Roxy Romeo, $85,000, 1 year non-compete. So it looks like this been, because like I said, this person posted this shit back in February. So they been knew that Angela Yee was about to get, let me see, they got the tweet that they had? No, they ain't got it up there. But they've been knowing it's been going on for a while, right? So then there was this, that she said somebody leaked her. And like I said, her shit seems pretty reputable because this person does tend to get the scoop, if you want to call it the scoop, before a lot of people do. And it ends up coming to fruition, ends up coming true. So let's go through this. So this is something somebody within the iHeart sphere allegedly sent to her. So basically Angela's deal is big. But if I leak that, then they will know it's me and I can't risk my resume. Envy is staying. However, Charlotte was supposed to be leaving, but his TV show ratings tanked on Comedy Central. And I did look up Charlamagne's ratings on his Comedy Central show, and they don't look too good. Even if you look at like Rotten Tomato scores, if you look up IMDb, it is rated very, very low. Me personally, like I said, I'm not really feeling his show. I like Charlamagne in a certain, dynamic atmosphere. The late night TV shit, I don't feel like that's really like his thing. It's probably his dream, but I feel like he could be more like an open-ended kind of show, like a Bill Maher type of show. Or even, I've always said, like, I don't know why he just don't go the Joe Rogan approach. It's a lot easier. Interview people that you want to interview. Every time you interview something goes viral from the fucking interview. So I just don't understand why he just don't do that. But, maybe he got bigger aspirations. He looks at TV as the mecca. So anyways, His TV ratings tanked on Comedy Central, so he is negotiating to either stay or ink a deal to produce his own content with iHeartRadio, which is probably the route that he would go next. Probably get them to pay the money. He'll do these big productions. You see, if you go to his channel, he got like little solo independent ones on there, but I digress. So based on the list, Trent Simonian wanted more money and was X'd out because he has no radio experience. It was not a favorite of the office. He was contacted through the Sparrow guy. Who they actually, I don't know why the fuck they got this big ass gossip that said you could do this without like fucking making it unable to be read. But anyways, who they actually wanted, he would be the new Charlotte. So they had this guy, I don't know who Sparrow is. From what they're saying, he's supposed to be the new Charlemagne. So another network, and they got to a war for his contract. Remy Ma was approached and requested $500,000. Do y'all think Remy Ma was worth $500,000 on the Breakfast Club? I don't know. Remy's look like the most solid deal because of what she brings to the table. Mother Knows would most likely get an increase in his pay from iHeart to stay in Philly. Roxy Romeo would take the position for an increase. If NWO Sparrow and Remy don't take the gig, I know for a fact they're going to move DJ Clue to the mornings, and they may try to ink a deal with female artist Malibu Mitch to host. So that last part don't make no sense to me. Like, so you're saying if they can't get a third seat for Charlemagne and Envy, they'll replace them with DJ Clue, who like, sorry, nobody gives a fuck about listening to DJ Clue, legend, but nobody gives a fuck. And Malibu Mitch as the new morning show? I don't really know how that would work. So let me see what y'all talking about. So this might be a hot take, but I don't think Angela Yee is as big of a loss. I mean, you could tell. I don't think it's a hot take. You could tell by just the responses, or even the like share your favorite Breakfast Club memory, that Angela Yee was like pretty much in the big moments, in the grand scheme of things, not a huge factor. Now, I was arguing with Trail that I was like, I don't think they should get a person like Remy Ma, who, because I feel like when Charlemagne comes across, especially in today's climate, today's society, if they get a black woman who's, and I don't know, this could be looked at a certain way when I say this, but a black woman who's very confident and opinionated, I feel like Envy and Charlemagne will kind of do that passive, like, oh yeah, you're right, queen. Like, I don't know, I want to see that shit. I think just get a person that can go in there, do what Angela Yee did, do the fucking rumor report, keep shit moderated, shit get a little bit hot, do that. If there's a woman in the room, you're there, make her comfortable, because sometimes they might ask whatever questions. Do that. That's fine. I don't think they need a Remy Ma to come in and try to be the voice or be the whatever. You think Angela Yee was pushed out? She's pretty boring. I mean, y'all gotta think, like, when we say pushed out, it's like, bro, they've been on there for 12 years. Like, Angela Yee in the past 12 years hasn't changed her personality or anything in that time frame. You know what I honestly think? Because if this is true, that they've been beefing since February, or not beefing, but they've been looking since February, I think that whole Gucci Mane shit did play a role, and they've been thinking about moving on since that point. They may have mended it, but at that point it's probably too late where we're playing. Like, these things just don't happen, right? Like, when you got this big money, multi-millions of dollars being thrown around, it ain't just like, oh, the summer hit, like, hey, Angela, you want a show? Nah, man, they've been talking about that shit for a while. They've been knowing that she was going to be off the show. They've been knowing it for a while. Charlotte can't make a TV show to save his damn life. This is like his fourth or fifth one. She is not black. Who's not black? Angela Yee? I mean, she had black. I mean, I guess, but whatever. I know who's going to replace Yee. I just figured it out. They need another big personality and have Envy take the role as the mediator because he's pretty boring, too. I'm trying to see how that would work. I feel like they work. I feel like that works good together. When you have a trio, you need like the guy, obviously Charlemagne, then like the B mic, like an Envy who's like, he'll say funny shit. You can lob to him. He'll ask a question or two. He got a little bit of, personality. And then you got the Yee who's over there, doing her thing. Nyla from Brilliance, this is what I would say. If I'm thinking about like a guy like Charlemagne and him trying to put his people in position, you could say Nyla potentially. You could say the other girl that he fucked with, what's her name? Ivy Rivera. If she wants to do radio, possibly. Kendra G, if she wants to do radio in New York, but who wouldn't have the biggest market, possibly do that. But I ain't gonna lie, I feel like the Breakfast Club just because it's about to be over, is about to become a hot commodity again. Just because, like, oh, damn, this is the end. Let me go get my last Breakfast Club interview with the original trio. Like, tomorrow, and this could just be coincidence because maybe you got something coming out. Maybe there's new Power or whatever. They got 50 Cent on the show tomorrow. 50 Cent's a big guest. I don't remember the last time 50 Cent was on the Breakfast Club. The other girl, that's Angela Yu's friend. You talking about, I don't know her name, but that's Angela Yu's friend. I forgot what her name is. But they could bring her up too, because you got to think they've been doing a good job apparently down in Atlanta with they shit. So they could call her up and be like, hey, you want to replace Yee? She's got a little bit more personality than Yee. She'll ask the question that need to be answered from a woman's perspective. So I won't be surprised. That's what I'm saying. Like, like I said, if I was a famous nigga, like I said this other day, you saw dick riding, dick sucking, whatever. You know how rappers be like, oh my God, I got that rock chain from Jay-Z. Oh, I want the rock chain. That's how I look at it as a media personality. That's how I look at the Breakfast Club. Like, the fact that I'm never probably going to get a Breakfast Club interview with that trio and that, like, you know, legendary cast, like, goddamn. So if you never got one, get it while it's hot. Get it while it's still there. Now, Drake, he probably don't give a fuck about that, so he probably won't, you know. I don't know who I don't really have who I think should replace her. People in the chat have, you know, thrown out a couple names. L'Oreal, that's her name. There's L'Oreal. She does radio down in Atlanta. She got a podcast with Wax. Nyla, which is the girl who be on Brilliant Idiot sometimes. Kendra D possibly. And then I went through a list earlier of people who possibly potentially could replace Angela Yee, Remy Ma, and some other people. I never heard their fucking names. Never. I'm curious too, like a guy like Academics. He's never done a Breakfast Club interview. I wonder if, grand opening, grand closing, only time to do it. Let's get it. Did you talk about the Wendy Williams stuff? Nah, I ain't get into the Wendy Williams thing. I just didn't know what to say about it. You know, I'm not into the whole, you know. She looked crazy, you know. I said this on the chick. Wendy Williams, this is the new images. Where the Wendy Williams shit at? People just get on Wendy ass. I mean, I get it, you know. She does look crazy. Like, I don't know. Like, was Wendy Williams fat before? Like, I mean, she is older. She's an older woman, but, like, you typically see shit like this when people are, like, a little bit, you know, they big and then they lose weight. So, I mean, like, when you look at the legs, you look at all the type of shit like that, you can look like, she don't look that good. She's going through some shit, you know. I don't want to kick a woman when she's down. I know they say she was on drugs or she had a medical condition, medical issues, you know. But, you know, that's Wendy Williams. At first I thought they were fake, but I guess they're real, you know. She's an old woman, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just don't know what you want me to say. I just don't know what to say. But that's Wendy Williams. So, God bless to her. She's a legend as well. L'Oreal should be the person. She still makes the difference. That's what I'm saying. Like, L'Oreal would be a good fit, I feel like. Because I don't feel like she would I feel like she would respect the role. I just don't feel like Remy Ma would respect the role of Charlamagne. That's what I say. L'Oreal, I could be completely wrong. This is how I feel. I feel like L'Oreal will respect the role of Charlamagne, but she'll also get in there to ask, obviously, when you want to ask, like, the sex question or the relationship, she'll ask that. And then she'll also ask, like, the tough, hard questions as well. So I think L'Oreal, just looking at people I've seen, she'd probably be the best fit. I also think Remy will make appearances for a little while after Yee, and then Charlotte will slide Nyla in the spot till the shit crashes. Who knows? But I think that's all I had to get into now. Unless y'all got something else that went on that I may have missed, I may have not seen. Salute to Rhonda for sending me a bunch of shit. Salute to Trev for sending me a bunch of shit. I hope Tate knocks Jake Paul out. We'll see what happens with that shit like that. Very interesting. We'll see. Let me see. Walmart started doing streaming services. Don't give a fuck about that. Nigga got his license. Antonio Brown. I think that's it, man. Like, I think that's all I got for today. I'm going every day. I've been here every day. We rocking. And tweet. What's and tweet mean? What does and tweet mean? We talked about the OnlyFans model. We talked about my boy Drake. AB tweet. I mean, that ain't shit. Like, it's like he thinks about himself like he a god. So of course he gonna feel that way. I don't really see nothing wrong with it. Like, if you think you're the greatest at what you do, then you want people to feel that way about you as well. So, like, when he says, my biggest regret in my career doesn't involve calling my GM a cracker or showing up to Raiders camp late in a hot air balloon with a frozen foot or throwing rocks at the UPS driver. And it definitely doesn't involve taking my shirt off and doing a victory lap around the Jet Stadium mid-game while throwing up deuces. My biggest regret is that I'll never get to see myself and Antonio Brown play a game live. Sure, I can watch the game afterwards, but I can't imagine what that was like for you all to see something like that, like watching the Beatles or Jesus perform at the Red Rock. Was, like I said, I'm not gonna say was Antonio Brown great. I know Antonio Brown was great. I know he was great, right? But was he like that great? Like, was he like otherworldly? Like, oh my God, this might be the next like fucking greatest player of all, best wide receiver of all time? I don't think that's just some ego shit. Like, that's just some like, what can I say? Like I said, all this new social media shit feels so unnatural. This motherfucker's trying to get attention. What can I say to get the most attention? And for Antonio Brown at this moment, that's what he could say to get the most attention. And it works every single time. Every time. What's this? What Trail sent me? Trail sent me some shit. Drake got a face tat. Salute to Drake for, he's crossing over. And even Rod Wave said, I get it. It's like, Rod Wave said that damn, Oliver my own damn deal. Hold on.
You took yourself off of the Lemon Pepper freestyle. Weren't you supposed to be on that record?
Yeah, cause a nigga like Drake have to understand, bro. I got your CD for Christmas, bro. You know what I'm saying? At that moment, I just was like in shock. Like, I still was adjusting to the shit that he sent me a song, and it took me like a week to even just record it. I was listening to it. I was like, I don't know what to do on this motherfucker. And then we recorded it, and I heard it, and I just was like, Mom, I don't like this bitch. I want to come harder. I want to get in there and do some shit. Like, you feel me?
He's like,
I don't give a fuck about that. I get it. You can take yourself off Drake's song because you don't feel like you're doing good enough. That's all I got, man. I ain't gonna try to force nothing. I ain't gonna try to force no conversation. That's all I got. Appreciate y'all. I'll be back tomorrow, man. Probably midday tomorrow. I probably won't do the late night stream tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe to if you're not subscribed already. We'll be back. More shit to talk about, I'm sure. Like, you see what Trell just did. He sent me a bunch of shit. Follow me in the DMs. Do all that, man. That's all we got, man. Salute to y'all. Y'all have a great night.